One thing that I'm constantly seeking out in my day-to-day outfits is that perfect balance between comfort and style. And I think that this is something that many of us also want to look for in our workwear outfits, and in particular, the shoes that complete our look. And I thought today I could share with you 3 highly impactful styling strategies for wearing flats to work. For many people, styling flats for work may extend beyond just sheer comfort. You may have issues like bunions, which I have, very wide feet, which makes narrow shoes incredibly uncomfortable, or other issues like plantar fasciitis. And this is one of the reasons why I love VIVAIA's shoes, and I'm excited to be partnering with them on this video. So all of the styles that I feature are going to be from VIVAIA's newest collection. As always, I do have a discount code to share with you, so I'm going to pop that on screen now as well as down in the description box so you can save on your next purchase. But I have 3 new styles that I'm going to share with you throughout this video, so I'll also give you some of the key highlights as to why I love these designs and what makes them so unique and so comfortable. You'll also find product links for everything that I share in the description box below. So let's dive into the very first styling strategy, and it's one that you will know I love so much. I think I talk about it in every single video. Do you know what it is? It's going monochrome. The thing I love about dressing in a monochromatic or tonal outfit is that it instantly looks refined. There's a sense of effortless appeal, but also it helps to extend that visual line and quite often will make you look a lot taller, which I think is something that many of us may actually be trying to achieve when we are wearing flats. We still want to look tall or taller than maybe we are, but I don't need to tell you that flats lack that literal height boost that you get from wearing a pair of heels. And I thought I could clearly demonstrate this with the first outfit, which has a lot of things working against it in terms of creating a sense of visual length. So I'm wearing a head to toe all white look, and I'm creating this singular block of color from my neck all the way down to my feet. And one of the things that's really actually helping me in this instance is the fact that I'm wearing a pointed toe flat, because as you'll know, a cropped pant actually shortens the length by cutting it off a little bit early. This is one of the reasons why I often tend to wear a full length trouser, but I love the ease of a cropped pant. Plus, I feel like we need to acknowledge the fact that they're a serious workhorse on spring days when it is extremely rainy. The Angel Flat Pro is VIVAIA's newest design, and I have to say, these are pretty incredible. They redefine footwear for unparalleled comfort, and the thing that is really unique about these shoes is the lip-shaped collar at the back of the heel. This gives you unparalleled support and a comfortable fit. It kind of sets these apart from any other style that I've had from the brand. You can see that it offers a really nice cushion at the heel while also helping to keep the foot firmly within the shoe. Another thing that's really interesting about this design is that it has interchangeable insoles. This kind of serves as the perfect solution to uneven foot sizes, but it caters to a range of other issues as well. So one of the insoles is perfect if you have wide feet or a high instep, and there's another one that's much better suited for those with narrow feet. Alternatively, if you're someone who has an average foot, you can wear the 10mm insole for day and the 9mm for night when your feet are a little bit more swollen and relaxed. I also like that these are made from a technical mesh, which means they're highly breathable and comfortable for all day wear. You can see how I also styled the chocolate pair in an all brown look, and I really love how chic and refined and polished this kind of comes off, despite the fact that I'm actually wearing a drawstring waist pant, and this would be a perfect look for a more business casual workwear setting as opposed to one that's a bit more formal because of that drawstring impact. We can do monochromatic or tonal looks playing around with prints as well, so I'm wearing this silver dress which has a bit of a blue print to it, so I can style that back with blue but also silver. So I've kind of topped and tailed the look, wearing a blue shirt on my upper half, helping to bring in some shape by belting it at the waist. And I've styled these with the Nelly round toe Mary Janes, which are in that lovely sparkly silver. These also have the contrasting black trim, which makes them really striking on the foot. Here, because the dress is a little bit longer and we've also defined the waist, it allows to create that long visual from the waist to the hem of the skirt, meaning a round toe shoe is going to look perfectly chic with this look. And one thing I do want to mention is that you will notice many of these outfits actually feature some of the same pieces and also some of the same styling techniques, as they're really interchangeable. I feel like if you're a big fan of the Aria 5, then you're really going to love the Angel Flat Pro. Definitely a style that I recommend checking out, and I also like the fact that these have a lower vamp too, so it creates this really beautiful effect on the foot. This final monochromatic look is styled using the Veronica Walker flats. These are intensely comfortable. I'll talk about them more in a minute, but I like the fact that these actually do have this rubber trim, which adds a little bit of a contrast to the look. And I wanted to replicate that element in one of the pieces I used to style with these shoes. So I opted for a jacket that has gold buttons. While it's not exactly tan, it does feel like it's within the same family. And a really good trick to keep in mind when you are putting together outfits is to replicate themes or elements within your look. This helps to keep it feeling really cohesive regardless of whether it's a monochromatic outfit or not. You can see when you are styling a monochromatic look that the two most important elements are those of shape and texture, and I really tried to play up that element of shape in all of these looks. So it only makes sense that we talk about texture next, and this is something I think is really valuable to ensure you have in the mix of your outfits, especially during the transitional season, because when we are reducing the number of elements that we have in our outfits and going for really simple styling, texture will make all the difference, and it really allows you to play down the simplicity of your look. So for this first outfit, I am going to be styling the Veronica Walker flats from VIVAIA, and I think the key thing that I really like about these is that they are really widely cut, but also they feature this diamond cushion insole and extra arch support. So they're incredibly comfortable. And if you are someone who does have a high arch, your arches are going to feel incredibly supported by these shoes. The padding in the sole helps to contribute to that sense of comfort when you're wearing these shoes. And I really like the fact that they also feature a responsive high density outsole. A great little bonus benefit of these shoes is that they are water repellent. So if you do happen to get caught in a downpour, you don't have to worry about your shoes soaking through. To me, this is a shoe that really doesn't sacrifice on style, and it kind of is your classic pointed toe option. And pointed toe shoes in general are a great choice if you are looking to extend that vertical, that length through the leg, because they draw the eye downwards all the way to the tip of the toe. And it's one of the reasons why I'm often recommending pointed toe shoes as a styling choice when wearing flat shoes. So I've gone for a real hit of texture here with this icy blue cable knit sweater, and I feel like the texture just jumps out of the screen at you. This really does have maximum impact here, and it also creates an interesting mix paired with the twill of the trousers and then the flat mesh of the shoes. If we wanted to take this up one notch further, we could also add in another layer in a varying texture. So yes, I'm wearing a cotton knit tank, but for that third piece, I could bring in another knitwear element like this cashmere cardigan, which has more of a soft fuzzy appearance to it rather than the matte but raised texture of the cable knitted tank. While this outfit isn't groundbreaking, it is striking and impactful, and this is a great example of how carefully chosen items can give you a lot of bang for your buck. We have the Angel Flat Pro for the next two looks, and here I decided to go for a monochromatic or tonal look, but using texture to really play up the differences in the pieces. So the dress is a maxi length linen dress, so it has this kind of raw organic quality to it, and then I've styled it with a tweed jacket which has a lot of richness and depth to the fabric. What's interesting about this pairing in particular is that you wouldn't necessarily think to pair linen with tweed. Linen is quite a raw organic texture, whereas the tweed reads as a little bit more luxurious and refined. So combined it creates an interesting melting pot, and I also love the contrast between the softness of the dress and the jacket and then the structure of the bag and also the pointed toe of the shoes. This next look is a little bit more subtle with the chocolate Angel Pro flats, but I wanted to include this as a different example of how you could incorporate texture. So I've actually got on a tank which is ribbed, and it also has a slightly sheer quality to it. And it's one of the reasons why I've actually fastened this cardigan at the nape of the neck, because I'm creating a sense of modesty, but also I'm playing around with the knitted texture and then that ribbed sheer quality of the tank underneath, while also creating that visual layering element. You'll see here I've leaned in on the rule of 3 for color. So to not overwhelm the look, I've opted for 3 colors centered around that singular column of color, the creamy tank and tailored skirt, the bright pop of red from the cardigan, and then the chocolate brown of the shoes, opting for a chocolate brown bag to match. I've styled the Nelly round toe Mary Janes for this final textural look, and I wanted here to highlight the shoes in the silver. I think that they're an unexpected choice, but they also feel quite conservative and chic at the same time. So I've gone with an all black outfit, which ties in with the black contrast design of the shoes. So the skirt is in a matte tweed fabric. This is a lot less lustrous than the jacket I shared before. We have on a very fine ribbed tee, which actually has a button design down the front, which adds in that sense of texture. And I've also worn it with a quilted vest. So I'm bringing in dimension in multiple ways, both through the third piece and through that really interesting mix of textures. The final styling strategy is the third piece rule. And this is exactly how it sounds. It's add in a third piece, another element, in order to create depth in your outfit. And it can be as simple as adding on a jacket to create that layered look, but I do have a few ideas here for you which I hope will come across feeling really fresh. So I wanted to start off with this idea of really focusing on that base layer. I think this is perfect in the transitional season as it really helps to add in that sense of warmth, that additional layer close to the skin without any additional bulk. You want something that is really fine in terms of the weight of the garment. So a really thin cotton rib, or maybe it's a merino. The COS Arquette ones are great. Everlane does these really lovely cotton rib ones if that's what you're looking for. This is a good starting point for your outfit. Remember, we're going to be layering over it, so it doesn't matter if it is sheer. That will actually give the outfit a really interesting quality. You can see that I've used that trick of highlighting the Angel Flat Pros by going with a navy top and navy trousers. But I thought we could bookend this look and really help to tie everything together. So I've opted to layer a white shirt over the top. I've tucked this in so I can highlight my waist and really help to extend that visual length of my legs as much as possible with a crop trouser. And this also helps to create this sense of shape and balance through the look, especially when you are wearing a trouser that is a little bit wider cut around the ankle. By really opening up that neckline, we can show off the fact that we've created this interesting layered look by really opening up the shirt and creating a deep V. This is a perfect canvas for an interesting necklace as well. Another option would be, instead of wearing a blazer, go for a sleeveless jacket instead. I like that this has all of the formality of a blazer, but feels a lot more lightweight, really breezy, especially if you live in a warmer climate. And this is definitely my top tip for those who want to create that sense of depth and dimension, but don't want to feel trapped by wearing a blazer, even if it is in a cotton or linen fabrication, as it can be quite stifling, especially if where you live is very humid. Now here you can play around with the sense of proportion and length, wearing something that is shorter or longer. And this could be a really fun way to play around with your style. And you can see here for this outfit where I'm wearing the Angel Flat Pros that I've gone for a bit of a tonal vibe, going with kind of creamy whites and yellows. And I've topped that off with the chocolate brown. And this is definitely one of my favorite color combos, chocolate brown and a lemon yellow. It feels really zesty and fresh, but also quite rich and inviting at the same time. If you're someone who wears your vest as a top, we could layer something underneath to create a striking sense of contrast. So I love the idea of wearing this all black look and then wearing a red merino top underneath. It is really impactful and it immediately grabs your attention. And I styled that back with the Nelly round toe Mary Janes. And my favorite feature about these shoes is just how incredibly lightweight they are. They almost feel like wearing nothing at all. They're incredibly flexible on the sole, so it means that they pack down really well, particularly if you are traveling. And I like that these are cut particularly wide as well, that really nice round toe, helping to accommodate wide feet and bunions with ease. These also have an adjustable fit because of that contrast strap across the foot. And another little secret about these shoes is that they are machine washable. So you can throw them in the wash, making them very easy to care for. So you can spruce them up if you happen to get a mark on them, because that's definitely been something that's happened to me in the past, and they come out looking like new. For the final outfit, I'm already wearing a third piece, a blazer, but I wanted to show you how you could take this up a notch, and we could style it with a silk scarf wrapped around the waist. Now, there are two ways that you could do this. One would be to style it over the top of the blazer to create kind of a waisted peplum effect. Or we could go for something a little bit more subtle that's going to help to break up your outfit a little bit and define the waist, and wear it underneath the blazer. I actually really love this. I think it feels really modern and minimal at the same time. And I'm wearing this particular outfit with the Veronica Walker flats. And I feel like the tan trim on the shoe aligns really nicely with the brown camel design on the scarf. So there you have it, 3 simple styling strategies that you can use for effortless but impactful workwear looks that are chic with flat shoes. I really hope that this video gave you some inspiration, some ideas, and also just a few few new tools to have in your back pocket when you're getting ready in the morning. A huge thank you to VIVAIA for working with me on this video. Don't forget, you can use my code on screen and down in the description box to save on your next purchase. I highly recommend checking out the Angel Flat Pros in particular if you haven't. The heel support and also the interchangeable insoles are incredible. And if you are new here and would love to see more styling advice from me, brand reviews, and just how to make the most of your wardrobe, I would love for you to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video as well, as it does help me with the algorithm. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time with a brand new one. See you soon. Bye.